Enjoy the show. Drive on Lugnutz.
All the luggy and nuttiness will start as soon as we get our 7 green flags, which seems a bit excessive, to go on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube all at the same time for the 107th Lugnutz podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lugnutz.
Welcome, everyone, to Lugnutz. We got Ford stuff, and there's a new king in town, the cheapest electric vehicle on the market. Hey, flip a Jeep. An electric Buick on a Merc recall. Valhalla. Lots of Lugnutz on 10 sports cars that can take the abuse. Time tested, turns out. That and much, much more. We have a gigantic show for you. 13 stories or something.
Play on my channel. Drive on Lugnutz.
Right on over here to pjandwh.com, where you're going to find, soon after this podcast, the podcast we had with Dave Wiscavage, the Suburban Sasquatch director. It was an amazing podcast. You can find it on their facebook.com/pjandwh right now and watch it. Or you can watch last week's Lugnutz podcast, Keeping White Seats White, tailpipe stuff, as well as checking out Saturday through Friday, Walljanger Gaming. I'm going through the Old Republic. Big Brother is going through Elden Ring. You have been pulling in people with that Elden Ring build you've been doing.
That's nice. I did a start this weekend from where you start off with 10 flasks and a bunch of other stuff. Took a couple hours. Is the one I did on Saturday, the first one.
Yeah, that was the one that was pulling in people, man. You got a couple likes on it, and it was really good.
So you want to start off strong. Yeah. That'll take you everywhere. Take you up. I went to the upper elevator. I went to get the 4 up, way up top on the road. You can't go in the city. I didn't go in the city because at level 1, I can't beat that guy.
Because they built that city on rock and roll.
Just like this first story. Ford. Ford Bronco is having safety concerns. Do they have a photo of the Bronco down there?
I hope so.
No. Probably not. Oh,
there we go. Hey,
safety concerns aboard a federal investigation after 32 Bronco owners complained. The problem seems to be that under normal driving conditions, without warning, the vehicle may experience power loss and cannot restart.
Oh.
Catastrophic engine failure on the 2.7-liter EcoBoost engine, according to the National Highway Safety people.
That is a shame.
It is a shame. In related news, Ford recently hired a quality expert to fix shit.
Sure, that's completely unrelated.
Their stock is down 20%. Nobody,
So things aren't going well.
Actually, if you own a Bronco, it is going well for you because this is covered under the powertrain warranty, says Ford.
Hey, hang on, I got a button for that.
Everybody loves when it's covered under warranty.
Yeah, warranty!
It's on the box. It makes you feel good.
Yeah.
If cars came in a box.
Oh, yeah.
That
would be weird. They do unboxing videos, though, with cars.
Yes, James May did one.
Yeah.
It's very popular. You've seen it, I know.
If you're watching this, you've seen it.
But what you haven't seen is this next story because it's a secret. Ford is building, you can leave it on this picture for now. Ford is building a secret project in Ohio. Where'd the picture go? There it is, Ohio. This is the Ohio plant. They're spending $3.7 billion on factories in the Midwest. The Ohio plant currently makes the F Super Duty medium pickup truck. This is the diesel or the gas,
Yeah.
I think. They pointed out in the story, yes, we still make this because you can't use batteries on the north face of Alaska if you're trying to haul
No, you can't.
anything anywhere.
Well, it was like that one.
they're
EV
going to need
story.
hydrogen up there, and that's the only way they're going to, because batteries will freeze.
Well, it was like that EV story we had a while ago, to where they were testing, and it was like, I think Norway or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
To where they were trying to test those batteries.
Oh, yeah,
in
they're
these
trying to get them up there,
harsh
but
conditions. But ultimately, I keep trying to tell people it's gonna be easier to
You know,
just
it's-
invest in
it's-
hydrogen.
it'll be fine. Hydrogen, for everyday use, electric will be fine. But, if you're going a distance,
If you're up in Alaska, that
you're-
is what you need to.
if you're going for speed,
Yes, it's when you're all alone in your
yes.
time of need. You need hydrogen.
Or if you need a transit van, Ford's building them in Kansas. We suspect they're building an e-transit, an electric transit van for 2026.
Or maybe we just need Beck.
Okay.
Just
What
gonna
we
leave it there.
need might be this next story.
That was a good segue.
There's a new king in town for the cheapest electric vehicle.
Mhm.
The old king has been dethroned. The old king was a Nissan Leaf at $27,400. You can get an electric vehicle in the past, but those days are gone. This one you can get for $5,900 less than the previous model.
Ugh.
It's called the Chevy Bolt. No, it's fine. They fix the problems. You can pick up a Chevy Bolt for $26,595. So it's nice to see they have an affordable option out there, and they did the recall, they fixed the problems, and if they didn't, you'll hear about it here next week. I do check every week. It is nice to see that
Yeah.
Chevy has gotten their stuff together and they're putting the Bolt back together,
They're
even
trying.
though it's kind of ugly.
Yeah, they're
I
trying.
guess.
They really are trying to keep that rusted bucket of bolts together. Yeah. Whatever it is. Maybe it's the Millennium Falcon. Maybe it's what was the name of the craft from Spaceballs?
I don't remember.
Comment below. But it may be like this next story, which was a joint.
That was a good segue.
It's not like this next story, because this next story is all about Toyota.
Hey.
They're making the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
This is the SUV Corolla. 2023 will have a 4-cylinder engine and a hybrid powertrain. Front or all-wheel drive 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, 2 generators, making a total of 194 horsepower. 0 to 60, 8 seconds. EPA estimate combined of 30 front-wheel drive, 32 all-wheel drive.
Okay.
Currently, the sedan gets 52 miles to the gallon. That's a lot of driving.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it looks good though.
It's not a bad-looking SUV thing.
For Toyota, it's not bad at all. But what's Audi doing?
Audi has all kinds of stuff brewing.
And what's Audi doing?
Audi has the new RS3. What is a 4-wheel drive and built on a Golf platform? That would be the RS3 for $58,900. But options could set you up quickly to $75K. Starts with the Golf base, and then they add a 400 horsepower, a turbocharger, inline 5 all-wheel drive.
The options are where they get you.
Oh, yeah.
That's where you get like a...
And the options are probably where the weight is.
Just hypothetically. I mean, that's where you get like an Integra, which is base at like, like 37,000. And that's where, with the options and accessories, you can get up to about like 50. And that is normal now.
Mm-hmm. But there's more. 2 clutches that dynamically change torque distribution to each wheel to be ready for anything.
That's awesome.
Road and Track says it has control similar to that of an electric car operating with independent motors. So that sounds fantastic for a traditional car.
Oh, it does. I'm just so sad that we're seeing this transition of just, guess what? This is the last one.
Yeah, well, you know, eventually when hydrogen shows up everywhere, I know I say this.
Please, hydrogen, please. Give me a regular car. I don't want an electric.
Well, you're going to have an electric whether you like it or not for a while.
Yeah.
Well, plus there is more. It has options that include a ride comfort mode that's front-wheel drive dominant, all the way to an RS torque rear and an aggressive ultra mode that unlocks the powers for wheel spin.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't need a little wheel spin?
Pinky up.
Road and Track author suggests that the tier choice makes all the difference. The tire choice.
Oh, not tier choice. I was like,
I
what?
should have spelled
Like maybe trim, like maybe they're seeing the tiers as that? Like, oh, tire choice. No, that makes
Road
sense.
and Track suggests that the tire choice makes all the difference for performance. You want the Pirelli P0 tires. It's a bit much, but if you're getting that package, you're already spending $5,500 on it. You'll get the increased speed limiter and carbon ceramic brakes.
So you're saying you're just going to pay for it?
Wait, there's more. It has torque vectoring. Who doesn't need some torque vectoring?
I guess
You can see the torque
everyone?
vectoring on all wheels.
Those wheels are going to vector.
Yeah, so they
All
can
the
vector
torque.
for the perfect angle out of the corners.
All that torque is going to be vectoring in the right direction. That's what you get from that car.
5 cylinders are firing in 1, 2, 4, 5, 3. Nürburgring time 7 minutes, 35 seconds. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Man, no, that's good.
Unlike this next story. Jeep flips over. The Highway Institute for Safety's small crash test. The 2022 Jeep Wrangler tipped over. I don't know what the video is.
It is literally that.
It's
and
an ad.
And the Brawny Man.
Really?
And that Jeep.
Here's that Jeep. They did this year's model got some structural changes in the front end that made it weaker. It got a lower score than last year. Oh, by the way, they've been flipping over. Jeeps flip over.
Yeah,
The 2019 model, that flipped over. They're going to flip over.
It's a tin can with wheels. That's what it is.
The IIHS said the sensors showed significant risk of injury to the driver's left leg and foot, meaning you're going to need some surgery.
I like my left leg.
I do as well, so I'm going to avoid a Jeep. You know, they do these crash tests for a reason, to tell you what to buy. Doesn't look like something I want to...
No.
And also, the IIHS has made the top safety pick and the top safety pick plus honors a bit harder to get, so it's a bit safer for you and me.
So I hope nobody buys a Wrangler anytime soon. A lot of people will.
They're everywhere.
Oh, they will.
They're everywhere.
Around Kelly.
Yeah. The side impact tests have a higher speed with a heavier barrier. The new nighttime pedestrian crash prevention test has changed. The headlights need to be good and acceptable to score a top safety pick award.
Well, that's a good point because headlights are a problem, especially when you look at like the LEDs. And at nighttime, some of them actually seem like too bright, you know, as opposed to like the halogen bulbs are just kind of like easy on your eyes. And you look at those LEDs and they're just piercing. So,
Yeah.
at least it's some kind of standard, you know?
Yeah, well, they're making things safer for everyone. And Jeeps have always been known to flip over. A lot of them kind of solved that problem, but Jeep never really did, I guess.
Well, once that Jeep flips over, they don't have to worry about cleaning it. That's the ultimate message. Because if you have to worry about cleaning your car, you're going to want to go right over here to Oreo's Detailing. And, of course, my buddy Eric Seavey is going to hook you up right over there in Westchester. And the number is 484, what is it?
402-4334.
Yeah.
Call them, get an appointment today. Or email them at info@oreosdetailing.com.
Absolutely, man. He
Get
will
your
take
car
care of your car.
detailed right there in Westchester on Market Street.
You can actually look at his Instagram, and he will show the different cars that he goes through day to day, from the dirty point to the clean point, and show you how clean your ride is going to be. And that is
Well, at some
of value.
point, I'm sure he'll see this next story roll on end.
I hope.
BMW unveils the iX1. This will be BMW's cheapest vehicle to start, $35,000.
They're really trying to go after everybody.
It really is. It's a really nice price for a BMW. $35,000 for
That's
a BMW. BMW said 2 options will be available with petroleum and 2 with diesel engines, and later it will be followed by an all-electric BMW iX1 xDrive 30. Dual motor drivetrain capable of 230 kilowatt power, which equals about 133 horsepower. Front and rear axles deliver combined
313.
What did
You
I
said
say?
133. That is like shit.
Yeah, right. What he said.
Not to throw you off, but 133.
I got the letters backwards, I see.
A whole bunch of different, but yeah, 313. I just had to correct that.
Right. Front and rear axles have a combined output of 313 horsepower and 364 torques. 0 to 60, 5.7. 257 to 272
They really
mile range is
really
what you'll get.
cram those torques in there, man. They really stuffed them
I
in.
think they just use a wrench and they just screw them in.
Okay, that makes sense. Or a pump.
Yep. But you could pump us up to this next story.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pump up a Buick concept. I love this concept. This is fantastic looking concept. First electric vehicle of North American market for 2024. This is the Buick Wildcat. I think it looks fantastic.
Oh, that looks so good.
Buick Wildcat was a full-size sedan from 1963 to 1970, and they're bringing it back. This one looks fantastic. Go down. There are more photos below.
I
We
will
can,
go down, but those rims, man. Oh my God.
They're fantastic looking. The whole car is just, it's delicious all over. I like, even though it's a Buick, it looks a bit, all right, let's look at it from another angle.
Sorry, I had to move. All right,
Possibly.
Ad was in the way. So anyway, that back end is horrible, but
That end looks fantastic. It
Oh,
looks like
yeah.
you got some serious storage space back there.
oh yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah,
Well,
some serious storage space back there.
As long as the back end isn't
You know,
open,
it's nice.
I don't mind it.
It's different looking. I like it.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I like.
I like
that.
the front end. I like the back end.
Love that logo, and then Wildcat.
This is a
Very
great
nice.
looking car. It's very futuristic. A lot of the car companies are coming out with some very futuristic designs.
That front end.
I like the Batman-looking front end there with like the big air scoops.
That
Like,
is
this
such a
is
Batman front
gonna
end.
need it.
Bruce Wayne would get into that Buick.
Well, I look forward to seeing this one on the road, but what you won't be seeing on the road is 1 million Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz issues a worldwide recall for 1 million cars due to a possible problem with the brake booster on the models of ML, GL, R-Class, and anything made in that between 04 and 15.
That's a lot of cars.
That's
between
1 million cars.
04 and
700,000 of them are in Germany alone.
Don't you wish you could do that in your job? Be like, look, man, from 2004 to 2015, I was in the wrong headspace, so I'm just going to recall anything I did at that point, and that's done.
I don't think the world works that way. But
It works that way for the automotive world. Be like, you know what? I fucked up.
And newspapers. That's
I'll
what
pay
the
for that.
editorial section was. They had like that corrections. Yeah, we said his name was Paul, and it's really Ted. We're sorry.
We said his name was Daniel, but his name was actually Dennis, and we're sorry.
Do you remember Lancia?
Almost like I went right to that story before this one.
Nah, this is the first time you're seeing it.
Oh.
Lancia has an exclusive rendering of their first full-size electric that will be coming to us in 2028. They released their 10-year plan, and this is part of what we got.
He's got a 10-year plan.
What is it? Not die? Oh, this was inspired by the first generation of Lancia. You know, those C-pillars are a real throwback to the glorious 1980s of the Italian Marquis.
There's something retro about this that I really
It's not
like.
bad. It reminds me of that Dodge we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, but
the Magnum or whatever it's called.
you know those vehicles that they had in like Batman the animated series? They were kind of just ambiguously 1950s, but had that retro look. It kind of has that kind of retro look that it could fit into any kind of generation. You know, it's very nice styling. I mean,
Well,
the
they're
LED
making
lights
it
are nice.
retro, so it looks like the Lancia Delta. It will have a massive battery mounted in the floor, capable of 87 kilowatt hours or 104 kilowatt hours. Rumor is they're shooting for 435 miles of range. That's about average. Everyone is shooting for about that now.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I saw something today that auto company was shooting for like 497. Like everybody's shooting, like you got to the 350s. Now they're shooting for that 400 range. So, I mean, you know, this time next year, I wouldn't be surprised if we have like 500 as a standard.
Yeah, yeah. If you think of like street parking, I don't think they're going to let you put your electric plug on the street out front of your house.
That'd be some serious, like, infrastructure that they need to fix.
So I'm thinking, like, if you have 400 miles, you're going to need that. So, if you park on the street,
Like, you got to figure, if you're going to
if you have, like, street parking, you're going to need to go somewhere else to charge it. You can't charge it at your house. 'cause
Unless you go...
You might not be able to park right outside your house every day.
Because the expensive route would be to just completely redo street parking and have that, like, you know, pay, charge, like, almost like a...
That'd be horrible.
What's it called?
Yeah, and it would
meters.
also be a parking meter too.
It'd be a parking meter electric charge, and you'd stick in your credit card, and you'd have to charge up your car, and then that would be street parking. And that sounds very George Orwell, and I don't want it.
Well, what you do want is this next story.
We went to a dark place.
There's nothing dark about Valhalla. The Aston Martin Valhalla is coming. But this problem's had some issues over the past, but let's just look past that and know that it's here.
Look at the
They
beautiful
spoke about
car.
putting a V6 hybrid in it when they were all excited and they were announcing it. And turns out, when they asked them later, they're like, we have no idea how to do that. We don't even have an engine. And they're like, oh, okay. But it still looks like an Aston to me, and it will have the heart of an AMG Mercedes sourced V8 with hybrid assistance.
That'd be like me promising that we're going to animate Lugnutz every single week, and I have no
Animation.
idea how to do that at all. Or
No. They
experience.
know. You like, if you knew how to do it, but you didn't have the software,
Yeah.
that would be the problem.
There you go.
This Mercedes AMG V8 will be a 4-liter twin-turbo flat pane at the crank, 7,200 RPMs, generates 740 horsepower. Rear axles, 150 kilowatt battery hybrid system consisting of 2 electric motors, 1 per axle, obviously. 201 horsepower, 9.4. Whoa, wait a minute. With 1 per axle, with one of 201 horsepower, and another for 738, for 937 horsepower. 0 to 60, 2.5 seconds. 8-speed dual clutch transmission that was developed specifically for a hybrid powertrain. Limited slip diff.
Yeah.
And they have a production version in the video below that celebrates motorsport. We love motorsport.
Good Lord. That is celebrating motorsport, all right.
Celebrating motorsport. They show you the car that they've been trying to make forever.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like a go-kart, and then it goes to the car that we've been talking about.
It's a fantastic looking car.
And then they're showing all the historic history behind
Aston Martin has been in racing in the past, back in the beginning. But if you like racing, you're probably going to need a car that can take abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have a list of 10 cars that can take an insane amount of abuse.
Absolutely.
We're going to go right down to number 10.
Number 10
Is the Lexus RC. The
Uh-huh.
RC initially release came with the T200T 300H RC 350. And it's, a Lexus, so
That
you
doesn't surprise
expect
me.
the
because
quality.
because
not
it's a
bad looking, too.
Lexus. It's a good looking Lexus, and I mean Toyotas and that brand of Japanese cars are just traditionally workhorses, and you can beat them down.
Speaking of Japanese cars, let's hurry to get to this next one.
Oh, I like that back end.
I didn't look up
Ooh.
used cars for the Lexus.
Anyway, but the Honda.
Up next is the legendary Honda S2000.
Yeah.
Legendary car that has a lot that is often heavily modified. It has a 50-50 weight distribution, Honda's F20C DOHC VTEC engine matted to a rear-wheel drive powertrain. Checked online, you can get one for anywhere from $20K to $40K.
Okay.
Depending on what you're looking for.
Fair enough.
Fantastic looking little car.
Oh, yeah.
If you can get one, that'd be a great car to have. Great convertible to have.
Oh, 100%.
Maneuverable.
And look at that. I love it in the red.
Looks
I love
good.
it in the red.
But up next,
Number 8.
we have the Nissan 370Z. Made from 2009 to 2020. It has a 3.7-liter naturally aspirated V6, 332 horsepowers, and 270 torques. You can get one used for 26 to 43.
God help you if
What
it doesn't
a
have a
range.
backup camera.
It
because
hasn't changed from 2009 to 2020, maybe updated like the electronics.
Well,
of
yeah,
it,
like
but
that's what I'm saying. Like if it doesn't have a backup camera, you are not backing up anywhere in that car. Like
Yeah,
the TL, like my TL, you're
is
not backing that up anywhere without a backup camera because the end is very deceptive when you're in it.
Yeah, I
Giggity.
think it's a fantastic looking little car.
Oh, I love them, especially the rev match because it's just a little button, so you
Mhm.
don't have to heel toe. You could just rev match that by pushing a button.
And people have been rev matching this next one for a very, very long
Number
time.
7.
The Chevy Corvette. I knew a guy, I worked with a guy who drove a Chevy Corvette every single day. That was his daily driver.
Yeah, I knew a guy
This
too.
car has been produced forever. The current legendary LS engine has constantly been produced.
Yeah, all the time.
So, anywhere 590 to 595 horsepower, 16 city, 24 highway. I saw a range from 14K for a 1996
Ooh.
or to 65K for a 2018. The 1996 one, that one might be fun. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you.
maybe if you're tired of your Lamborghini, you can get a used Corvette.
Mm-hmm.
And we have now the cars that can take abuse.
Ooh, I love that back end. That's part of Matt Man's favorite back end.
Yeah, it's a fantastic looking car.
Giggity.
And if you want to get a petroleum engine, you better get it now because this is the last one.
Yeah. You're too far away for me to actually read your name, but thank you for commenting and watching. Number 6.
Number 6, this
Your
is a
favorite.
personal favorite of mine, the Mazda Miata, a balanced driving experience on an easily maneuverable 2-liter 4-cylinder 181 2-liter 4-cylinder 181 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 6 seconds, heavily modifiable. Put a turbo on there or a supercharger, get it faster than a 911. You get a use from, I saw a 2010 for 16K to a 21 for about 34.
So you're waiting for your sponsorship
15
from Mazda.
or 16 is about the bottom.
Mazda?
Even if you get something older, like one of the, they'd be a historic car now.
Oh, yeah.
They'd be a historic car. That's
Great.
something.
Great stuff. I mean, the Miatas, man, they are legendarily fun to drive.
Yeah. You're the British sports car style with that Japanese reliability.
Exactly, man. Meeting of the minds, making a perfect car.
Which is just like the
Number
Porsche
5.
911 Generations. This car has been produced since 1945 when something stopped happening and then someone started making cars. You can get a used one for $32K. That was a 99. Or you could get one for $265K.
Okay.
There's a few of them. Legendary car.
It's
Great driving
legendary
experience.
because they
I
never
wouldn't-
change it.
I wouldn't want to use one.
It never changes.
Not in this country.
The look of that Porsche, the 911, it never changes. Ever. It's always the same.
No, it has changed from the first model, but just a little bit. They do that so your car doesn't depreciate very much. Like the old Buick, they'll depreciate.
Hang on,
Well,
let
they
me-
might depreciate depending on.
Let me get my eraser. There we go. New model.
Right, let's move on to the next one.
Number 4.
Next one is Ford Mustang, another time-tested engine that is basically the same big V8 forever.
Yeah. And ever.
It's a car we all know, the car that's all in our dreams. Well, some of us. I saw a used 2002 for $1,995. Or I saw a 1965 for $122,965. So if you want a project car,
Yeah.
this is the car to get.
But also, just to the name Mustang, Ford is like one of those companies to where they're looking at this next generation of EV or hydrogen, wherever you're going, and they're saying, no, we are taking the Mustang with us. And you have your Mustang EV. They already immediately put it in there, so you already have that Mustang name in your mind. So wherever this market goes, this is our brand we are still going with, and we are still going with our idea of this car.
In the 90s,
And they're just moving their chess pieces forward.
80s and 90s, that they struggled on look.
80s especially, because they went with that fast.
The 90s, they kind of recovered there.
Yeah. The 90s was a popular look, and they kept that,
That
all
was it.
a
It was
decade of a car.
90. When did they redo the look? 93.
I want to say, yeah, like
Something like that?
90. It was around there,
It
early
was like
90s.
89. They still had that butt ugly.
Yeah, but then they switched it, and that one they kept. I want to say into the new
And they've
millennium.
slowly evolved it into the Mustang that we see today.
Yeah,
But
really great looking.
there's more.
Like, look at that one, man. Oh, kind of reminds me of that, Eleanor in Gone in 60 Seconds, Nick Cage.
Yeah,
Amazing movie.
yeah.
With a Mustang as the centerpiece that you want to grab. But number 3.
Toyota 86, a track-focused car with performance similar to the Mazda MX-5, making it a great alternative and also a cheaper option.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's cheaper. The used market was about $20K for a used one to about, at the top end, 31.2, and both of those had an accident.
The nerdy internet got this car made back because the AE86 or Torino was made popular in one of my personal favorite anime, Initial D, because the main protagonist drove an AE86, and the 86 they brought back with Subaru and the BRZ, and as well as the FRS with Toyota, and then they keep going on with the 86 line because it was made popular by that anime, and not just because of that.
There's solid engineering behind it.
Exactly.
Just
because it was focused on driving. And
yeah.
that's why people like that anime, because if you were a drifter, you could look at that and say, no, that's actually correct what they're saying there. That's what you do with the car. And that is why this car was a perfect downhill drifter.
There's another perfect car that can also
Number 2.
take a beating. This one, I think everyone loves the Toyota MR2.
Yeah.
Rear-wheel drive, wonderful car, the poor man's Ferrari.
Yeah.
Wonderful car for corners and mountain passes. The non-turbo version is known to be more reliable than the others.
That'll take a better beating than a 1950s
but the
housewife.
used market, you can get a used 04 Spider for about $7,000, or you can get an 02 for about $18,995. So
Very nice.
this one's within reach for everyone. $6,000, that's another perfect project car. You can find one, something that you can do and something wonderful to restore.
There's something about like the MR2 that really looks Pixar. You know, it looks like Cars. Like that car
Yeah, it is a
has a
classic-
personality.
Yeah, the classic look.
That flip up, and those lights always
pop-up headlights.
when those motors went bad, man. That thing was one of the first. Like, are you kidding me? It's that much. That was that kind of part. Like, good Lord, it was a bad idea, but it was cool. A lot like this next car, number 1.
So
In everyone's hearts.
an Integra, not the new one.
No,
The Integra,
the real one.
not the new one. The used market, all I saw was 2 that were from 01. You could have.
Actually, just to interject, this is actually a Japanese Integra, and in America, this would be a RSX, if I'm being nitpicky, because that's
Well,
a
it
RSX
says
back
Integra,
then.
and I look for one on the used market, and you can get a 2001 for $5,201, or
That's why, because
one for $3,999.
Yeah.
That is all.
Yeah, because the Integra had such a long line. Towards the end, Japan just got selfish, and they said, no. And a lot like what they did with a lot of their media and stuff, they just gave America a different name. So they gave this to RSX, but they kept it as like the last kind of generation of Integra in the Japanese market. And, I mean, this it just looks like a completely different car than the RSX that we got. So, I mean, especially because
this one is not a bigger, fatter, wider Civic.
No, it's very sleek.
But if you have a bigger, fatter, wider Civic and you love it, pop over to pjandwh.com. We'd love to hear from you. You want to hear about motorcycles, boats? I'm not covering boats.
Tugboats.
Tugboats.
There's a lot of torque you can get out of a
A lot of
tugboat.
torques on a tugboat. Spaceships.
Very big engines on the
Go
tugboat.
over to pjandwh.com. Contact us. Type it up here in the box. And
Click that subscribe or submit button, and that's how you're going to get our attention. Of course, it does not matter if you drive a Ford or a Maserati. Nothing rolls without Lugnutz. We'll see you next week, gang. Until then, drive on! Now, what is your dispute?
it's a long show. It was a very long show.
Very long.
There were 13 stories, and then a really long one.
Well,
Thanks
some
for joining
rubs.
us this week.
I can't give you guys rubs, but I can give him rubs. You know, it'd be really weird if I gave you guys rubs. And very expensive. Like, all right, who watched the video? All right, I got to go there and give him rubs. Very awkward, too. Hello, I'm the Mat Man. I'm here to give you rubs. No? We'll see you next week, gang. Bye-bye. Free rubs all around.
Play on my tangers. That was a good segue. Our Island Kelly.
A lot like recognizing that subscribe button right there. And then the very best Purge Hangers and Wall Hangers video right above my head for you. And above Big Brother's head. All 107 Lugnutz podcasts for you to enjoy. And of course, it does not end till our main man Connor says,
Drive on Lugnutz.
we'll see you next week, gang. Bye-bye.
Drive on Lugnutz.